So you're thinking about leaving the US permanently and starting fresh abroad. Well, in that case, you're definitely not alone. Just look at the digital nomad sub on Reddit. What nobody really talks about, though, are the very real bureaucratic problems that many digital nomads and expats totally fail to prepare for before they leave. So in this video, we're going to break down everything you need to know to make a totally smooth and legal transition from choosing your destination to handling taxes, visas, healthcare, and finances. Before we get into that, though, make sure you hit that like button. It really helps us out in the algorithm so we can get this content to more people who really need to see it. Let's dive in. The first bureaucratic hurdle to address is your visa and residency situation. Now, every country has different rules for how long Americans can stay without a visa. Some allow you to stay in the country for 90 days on a tourist visa. Others are more complicated. Either way, it's something you need to look into before you leave. In general, if you're planning to stay in one place for the long term, you're going to need some kind of residency visa. The first category of visas are retirement visas. Many countries offer these visas to people who can demonstrate that they generate income from a pension or that they have enough savings to live. Popular options include retirement visas from Mexico, Panama, Costa Rica, Thailand, the Philippines, and Colombia. Next, we have digital nomad and remote work visas. Some of the more popular options include visas from Portugal, Spain, Costa Rica, Thailand, and Colombia again, Brazil, Argentina, Greece, and Croatia. Now, for those with the capital, you can also access investor visas that can get you a fast track to residency through investments in real estate or a local business. Next up on our planning checklist is what to do about your bank account. Due to regulations like the US Patriot Act, you really do need a real residential street address in the US. Now, you can utilize a domicile service like ours from Savvy Nomad, which can help you get a real residential address that you can use for important matters like banking or tax residency, which we will talk about later in the video. Alternatively, you can use the address of a trusted friend or family member, but keep in mind that banks will often ask for proof of residency, things like a lease agreement or utility bills. Now, if neither of those solutions work, you can always try opening a local bank account in the country that you're living in. But again, a lot of banks in countries abroad will want to see proof of residency before they let you open an account. Now let's talk about everybody's favorite topic, taxes. As a US citizen or a green card holder, you're taxed on your worldwide income wherever you live, right? There's no running or hiding from the IRS. You need to file your tax returns no matter where you're working or living. The good news, though, is that there are things you can do to reduce your tax burden. The first is the Foreign Earned Income Exclusion. This provision allows you to exclude up to $130,000 in earnings from federal income taxes. Now, you can qualify for this by either living outside the US for 330 full days in a 12-month period or by obtaining tax residency in another country for the entire tax year. Then there's the foreign tax credit, which helps you avoid double taxation. If you're paying taxes in your new country, you can use that as a credit against taxes that you owe the IRS. Basically, you end up paying the highest tax rate between the US and your new country of residence. You'll also want to file an FBAR if your foreign bank accounts exceed $10,000 in value at any point during the year. The penalties for failing to file can be quite steep, so make sure you don't forget. Now that we've discussed federal taxes, let's move on to state taxes. Some states like New York, California, Virginia are notorious for trying to hold on to their tax residents as long as possible. If you keep ties like property, voter registration, driver's license, even a pet in the state, they might still try to claim you for taxes. To avoid this, you need to formally establish residency in another state like Florida or South Dakota, which don't levy any income tax at the state level. You can do this by getting a residential address in the state, getting a driver's license, registering to vote. Again, Savvy Nomad has a service that can help you establish a domicile in Florida. So if you want to look more into that, make sure you use the code YouTube for 15% off. Link is in the video description. Whatever you do, make sure you cut ties completely with your old state, right? Cancel that voter registration, sell or rent out property, make a totally clean break. Otherwise, you might be hit with a big tax bill. Now, if you're self-employed or running a business abroad as a US citizen, there are even more rules. No matter what you do, you still owe self-employment tax to the US. That's 15.3% for Social Security and Medicare, regardless of whether or not you qualify for things like the Foreign Earned Income Exclusion. However, if you live in a country with a totalization agreement with the US, places like the UK and Germany, you might be able to avoid paying Social Security tax if you're already paying into that country's Social Security system. If you're considering this route, definitely consult with a tax professional that can advise you on your own individual situation. Next up is healthcare. Older expats, keep in mind Medicare doesn't cover you when you're outside the US, generally speaking, so you're going to want to prepare. Now, most countries offer public healthcare for residents, but it takes time to qualify. Other countries require that you have some kind of travel health insurance if you want to apply for their digital nomad permit, so you may need healthcare in any case. Companies like Cigna, Alliance, Safety Wing, that's something you can check out. Keep in mind, some public health systems are quite good, but the wait times might be long, while other countries will not cover certain procedures. So no matter what you've heard about healthcare being cheaper or better outside the US, you should still prepare before you leave. Take time to handle your visa strategy, know what you're going to do about taxes, and get your healthcare and banking in order before you make that move. And if you need help setting up your Florida residency and getting your tax plan in order, make sure you get in touch with Savvy Nomad and use that discount code YouTube for 15% off. If you liked this video, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe for more digital nomad tax tips and financial planning advice. See you in the next video.